Hi Nightscapers, welcome back. In the last unit, we started taking our first exposures. And now that you have your exposure set, you can leave it where it is and concentrate on your composition. A night photograph is going to be a lot more interesting when you can combine the beauty of the night sky with the beauty of the landscape. It's one thing to see an intricately detailed image of the Milky Way's galactic center, and it's a whole different experience seeing the Earth in perspective relative to the rest of the galaxy. It seems simple, but the way that we frame the sky and the landscape together can make a huge difference in the quality of our photographs. The rule of thirds is probably the most common rule of composition in all of photography, and some of you might already know about it. It's pretty simple to remember, but it can really help you create some amazing photographs. To use the rule of thirds, simply divide your frame into a grid with 3 horizontal rows and 3 vertical columns. Then you can use the guidelines to place elements of your photo such as the horizon, and use the intersections to place your subject or points of interest. Since you're trying to showcase the sky, you'll typically want to use about 2/3 of the frame for the sky and the bottom third for the landscape. Another concept to guide your composition is the idea of positive and negative space. When you're framing your subject, whether it's a rock formation, a tree, a group of friends, or yourself, try positioning the camera really low to silhouette the subject against the sky. This emphasizes the shape of your subject by using the sky as negative space and makes for a more compelling photograph. Let's think about the rule of thirds and positive and negative space with a few more photographs. This next photo uses the rule of thirds, but this time in a portrait orientation. Once again, we have the horizon line along the bottom guideline, so 2/3 of the image is the sky and 1/3 is the foreground. The subject is also silhouetted to create a strong positive space against the negative space of the sky. Notice how the subject is positioned along the left guideline and his head is at one of the intersections. This last image of a couple was taken on one of my private photography workshops in Alabama Hills in California. The guy actually chose the workshop to propose to his girlfriend, and this is one of the photographs from that night. Alabama Hills has a bunch of natural arches, and this is one called the Mobius Arch. Notice how I made sure that the sky was visible through the center of the arch to create a strong positive and negative space. It also makes use of the rule of thirds. We have about 2/3 sky again, and the couple is placed on one of the intersections. Try to use the concept of positive and negative space and the rule of thirds for all of your astrophotos. I'm sure that when you're picking your 5 best astrophotos of the night, you'll probably like the ones that use these concepts most effectively. Now that we've covered the basics of composition and how to frame your nightscape photographs, let's move on to light painting in the next video lesson.